Not everything you hear deserves your attention. You don't need more opinions. You need space to hear your own. So today we talk about blocking out the noise. That's what we're going to be talking about today. So when you're constantly being influenced, right, by, the world, opinions, content, conversations, etc., it all shapes the way that you think, right? And often without even realizing. So too much noise creates confusion, okay? And when you have too many opinions, it's easy to lose your own voice. And comparison leads to self-doubt. And then, constant input from others creates a lack of clarity. So when everything is loud, it's harder to hear yourself. And so this is why I want to talk about blocking out the noise, okay? Because it goes hand in hand with everything, and growth and movement and mindset. And as we know, protecting your peace is so powerful, right? You don't need to listen to everything, okay? And you can choose what you consume. So when you create space, then you create clarity for yourself. And also, like, something that I like to say is your diet isn't just what you eat, okay? It's everything that you consume. What do you watch? What do you listen to? What do you absorb? And that's all part of your diet, right? But I digress. Let me get back to it. So as we know, right, just from a scientific point of view, yeah, our brain, your brain, adapts to what it's repeatedly exposed to. Okay, so let's talk about it. Yeah, let's talk about these things. So, taking in too many opinions. Now, this is something that I've really recently stopped doing, is absorbing the opinions of others. And here's why, right? So, have you ever noticed, right, that you can feel so clear about something, you can have an idea and be like, yes, like this is what I need to do, or you could, whatever it is, you can be clear on it. And then after hearing a few opinions or speaking to like a few people about it, you suddenly feel unsure. And, self-doubt can start kicking in, or overthinking then has started. And you lose your original instinct of what it was that you was going to do. And nothing changed except what you were listening to. So, yeah, blocking out the noise. Like when we scroll on our phone and, compare ourselves, right? So as we know, comparison is the biggest thief of joy, right? But again, like, you can go on your phone and you can, scroll for a few minutes. We all do it. We all doom scroll, we all do it on our phones. But yeah, you can go on your phone for a few minutes and then suddenly, like, you feel like you're behind on your own life. Like, you feel like you're off track. You know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh, the pressure is getting worse. Like, what is going on? And you feel like you're not doing enough. But again, you were fine before until you started absorbing everything else, right? So, constant noise results in no clarity or less clarity, like I touched on. When you're always listening to something, whether that's music or, podcasts, like I love podcasts, like I love learning, right? But, social media, family, friends, whatever. When do you actually hear yourself think? Like, when do you actually hear your own voice if there's no quiet time or reflection time? It's like no direction. just constantly subscribing to things that might not even benefit you or might not even serve you. So if your mind is always full, then where is the space for the clarity? You know? So, yeah, this is why blocking out external noise is so powerful, right? Because it gives you space to like come back to yourself, to hone in on you, to listen to you, because you're important, as you know, and your voice matters. But if you're not aware of what your voice is saying, you're not aware of the inner voice that you have, then what? Where are you going? What are you doing? How are you living your life? Based off the opinions of others? No, let's stop that. Let's unsubscribe to that. Let's block out the noise. Ain't nobody got time for that. So it's something that I've been practicing recently, is blocking out the noise and consciously making the decision to move in silence, in a sense. Do you know what I mean? I'm going to speak about this in another video, but I'll just touch on it for now. But yeah, blocking out the noise, moving in silence, and really honing in on my own internal voice, consciously listening to myself, and my initial instincts. So, but yeah, that's what I want to talk about today, man, because when everything is loud, it really becomes harder to hear yourself. And, you know, there's a lot of negative noise going on in the world at the moment. And it's really on you to consciously make the effort to block out whatever noise does not serve you. And again, you know me, I will always hone in on it, like, you are important, and your voice is important, and the power of knowing your voice is important. And sometimes, you know, without creating that space to block out the noise, you're constantly just in this cycle, right, of this programming that is constantly happening everywhere around us, right? Like, we are programmed. You are not an exception. I'm programmed. You're programmed. Like, we're all programmed. Our brains are like a computer. Again, I will speak about this in another video because I don't want to digress, but I mean, I don't want to go off topic. But yeah, you know, you have the power to consciously block out the noise that does not serve you. And maybe you needed to hear this today. Maybe you just needed that reminder. So if this is resonating, I love that. But yeah, you know, there's so much going on in the world. So yeah, let's consciously block that out. Because we've got dreams to chase, right? We've got movements to be making, okay? We don't have time for the stagnancy and the other side of growth, there's decay, right? So yeah, again, like I said, this is something that I've been practicing, consciously really been practicing recently, because outside noise, man, if you let too much of it in, it will kill your dreams. So say no, let's block it out. So yeah, that's what I want to speak about, man. Like, blocking out the noise, like honing on you, do what it is that you want to do. And let's not forget, guys, like, we're in this fire horse year, okay? So we're only a few months in, yeah? We're still very new to these energies that are working with us. But yeah, I'm gonna plant my little seed. But here is the food for thought, okay? So think about it. When everything around you is loud, it's harder to hear yourself. So maybe it's not clarity you're missing. Maybe it's space. Let it marinate. Let that sink in. I'm going to keep watering the seed, don't worry. Stay tuned, come back next week. But yeah, man, challenge yourself this week. Challenge yourself. Take a step back from the noise and see what happens. And let me know in the comments. But yeah, amigos, I hope you have an amazing week. I hope all the good vibes that I've been sending have been reaching you, obviously, of course. But yeah, that is it from me today. Thank you so much if you have watched this video. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. It really like helps you girl out, do you know what I'm saying? We're building. But yeah, good vibes on the way, of course, from me to you. And have an amazing week, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.